My name is Amanda Rayom. I'm a partner in LightSwitch, which Angela mentioned. We're upstairs and do web design, social media, marketing, etc. I'm also a singer-songwriter. I might know some of you that way too. And this is Andrew King. He is a local artist, businessman, and I kind of just wanted to start. Maybe you want to give a bit of background on your how you started even living in the area and how you started.
Well, we're going way back.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and with art and how you started working here and your sort of journey that way.
Well, I came to Ottawa for pursuing a career in art. First at Carleton University for industrial design. I always wanted to design cars. And if you follow my Twitter account, I apologize because I talk about cars quite often. As much as art, though. And I found out that it wasn't a car design course, and we were designing power tools and filing cabinets. So I switched gears and went to Algonquin College and pursued animation. And I worked after graduating in the television animation field. And during this whole time, when I moved to Ottawa, I lived just off Woodruff Avenue. And I really liked this end of town, so I moved slowly more east, and then I lived on Athlone, and this was in 1995, before the area exploded. And you could feel the potential of the neighborhood. It had this neat small town feel, had a sense of community, and then Mountain Equipment Co-op moved in, and that changed everything. And now we've seen it explode exponentially. Yeah.
Great. And I guess my next question, I'm wondering, I mean, I've been following you on Twitter. I actually think we met on Twitter.
Did we?
I think we met on Twitter before we met face-to-face.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yes. So, awkward.
Yeah.
When did you start using Twitter? I mean, I know you're a regular on Twitter now, but when did it start, and how did you sort of find your way and stumble your way into using Twitter as a tool?
Let's see. It was probably 2 years ago, and it all started when I got this. An iPhone. This is a dangerous tool, everyone. And once I found out what Twitter was, or I had no idea, like most people, they're like, what's Twitter? What's that all about? So I just started fooling around with it. And Twitter is like your own personal soapbox. You can choose whether to be funny, professional, or just sit back and watch people. So you have to really decide how you want to pursue Twitter. And for myself, I decided to set up an account that is both to promote my business as an artist, but also as kind of like your own personal show, TV show. So I try and do some jokes. It's not for everyone, I know, but I'm just having fun with it. And then if I have an upcoming art show or whatever, something I want to talk about business-wise, I can post it on there as well. So you have to really pick and choose how your Twitter appearance is to the rest of the world.
Would you say that you split it up? I mean, maybe walk me through a typical Twitter day for you. You know?
Oh no.
Really? I'm curious. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if you have a system to it or if you do it when you wake up.
Well, everyone's different, right? Like for me, I have a hard time waking up. I'm still half asleep here. But I use Twitter as a way of waking up in the morning. Like most people put their phone on the night table or whatever. So in the morning, blurry-eyed, I'm like, what's happening in the world today? And you can see by the people that you follow, you can read updates in the news, you can read about your neighborhood, whatever, and it just starts the day. And I also like to get the brain going by just, if I see an interesting article, it might spark something else, and I look it up, and I'll post something about a historic event in Ottawa or something, and that just gets me up for the day. And then I'll post an update on a painting, or if I took a walk and something weird is happening in the neighborhood. It's a very powerful tool, Twitter. You can talk to your local city councilor, you can talk to the mayor. These are all people on Twitter, and they know the power of Twitter, and they will respond. But you have to maintain a presence that's not gonna hopefully piss people off, so they'll respond to you, and it's a symbiotic relationship. And then I just go through the day like that, and then at night, usually put it back on the night table. I'll read an article of some interesting news story. And
So you're in a love affair with Twitter, is essentially.
I know. No, my first love was sitting at the back there. Yeah. You can tweet that, Ali. You can tweet that.
Already did.
That's funny. Maybe talk about, so as Angela was mentioning, every business is different, and you don't have an art show every single day, whereas some businesses, you have a new product or a new special every day. How do you treat if you have an event? But is there a difference between when you're just sort of either creating or just in between shows, as opposed to when you have a show coming up?
Right. Great question. You have to differentiate between the two. So if I have a show coming up, I don't want to be, let's say the show is happening October 31st. I'm not going to start talking about it in September because people will be sick and tired of hearing about it. So I might post one or two things in between, and then it's almost like you want to ramp up your event. So as October 25th, maybe, okay, folks, in a week, here it comes, and then you slowly ramp it up that way. Otherwise, people just get sick and tired of it.
Do you have a way that you have collect Twitters, or do you find if someone, are people mostly adding you, or do you go out and sort of suss out people at your art shows? Do you get them to leave their Twitter handles, or how are you getting followers, would you say, at this point?
It's just meeting people at art shows. Reading retweets is also an interesting way of gaining followers or following somebody. Let's say I'm interested in airplanes, and some random person I see on Twitter, hey, check it out, the Gatineau Air Show is coming up and they're gonna have a Spitfire. And I'm like, who's this by? John Smith. Oh, cool, he likes airplanes too. Boom, follow him. And then you have this immediate relationship with that person because you have something in common, right?
Yes. So, and would you...
And then he'll follow you back, and then it grows from there. And then all of a sudden you've got 50 people interested in airplanes because you all share that interest.
And would you say that you've ever had an experience where a tweet turns into a sale for you, or something that you've tweeted?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Considering you're all business people,
Yeah.
I can't stress enough how important this is as a sales tool. I'll give a personal example. Painting a painting, I'll say, here's the latest painting, click, post it. At the art show, the first person to arrive saw that painting on Twitter and liked it so much, they had to see it in person, and they eventually bought it. Wow. So it's rare, but it does happen, and that can happen for all of you. It's very important. Like Angela was saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you have a new product and you believe in it and you think it's great, post it right away. And people will be like, cool, because you can talk about it as much as you want, but it's a visual that's important. And it's the same, just taking a walk too. If you walk by a new business and say, oh, the Flying Banzini has a great sign, and there's no picture, no one will really want to click and read more about it. But if you post a picture of that, all of a sudden people want to know and see it and retweet it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because I find I live in the neighborhood also, and when I just go out for dinner or grab a coffee or whatever it is, I'll make sure, not only because I own a business in the neighborhood, but just as a community member, this is where I'm eating tonight, and check this out. And I find that it turns into, then the next person retweets that, and you can kind of pump up the community that way and keep everyone involved.
And it's great to, if you believe and have a great experience, share it with everyone. Everyone, like when I have a good dinner at the gastropub or wherever, I'm like, wow, these guys deserve a shout out because they worked hard. Promote your neighborhood. And similarly, you can also be negative on Twitter, which I try and avoid, but sometimes you need to be negative. Like yesterday, there were potholes all along Island Park Drive. I don't know if anyone noticed those giant squares cut out of the asphalt, and your teeth are jarred. So I tweeted our counselor and said, what's up with that?
Yeah. Did you get a response?
I did,
and?
yeah. And she says she'll look into it, but it turns out 2 hours later, they paved them all. So I'm like, I don't know if that's the power of Twitter or what.
Really, just tweet Andrew and it'll get done.
Yeah.
Has there ever been an experience where you did mention someone, do at, I don't know, someone famous or someone that you didn't expect to get a response back from, and
Yes,
you did?
totally. Childhood idol, Dana Carvey. You remember that, Allie? So I found out Dana Carvey from Saturday Night Live, Wayne's World, was on Twitter, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna follow Dana Carvey. Within a minute, he followed me back, and it was awesome. And then he retweeted something. Anyway, it was awesome. So don't be afraid to follow anyone. Like, if you have a celebrity you like, follow them, or you'll be surprised at it. It's just a fun thing to have.
And do you find that, I guess another question I had from before, can you use Twitter to sort of market to an existing audience? It's not only to sort of get new people to come and see your show, it's also sort of keeping, because I know, I mean, people that buy your artwork, they tend to have maybe even more than one, you know, so do you find that there's a different way that you sort of remarket to those people as opposed to trying to get new people out?
Well, I have to find out if they're on Twitter or
Right,
not.
yeah.
And I don't want to be pushy, like, hey, Jim, check out another painting. Like, no. People will find out information on their own.
Yeah.
So let them do their thing. You don't want to be pushy. If they're on Twitter, then they're usually reading what you're posting. If they're following you, it's like they're going to be reading it, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be following you. And there'll be people that will follow me and immediately unfollow me. Like, no big deal. You don't like what I'm saying? That's cool, too. It's not for everyone.
And do you have any sort of like surefire ways that I don't know, for me, like I find if I ask a question, I tend to get, even on Facebook, I'll say, where do I go get my hair cut? And
It's a natural human trait to want to help others, in my opinion. So if you are needing help, people will want to help you. Like, oh man, I have a car problem. Can anyone recommend a good mechanic in the neighborhood? Boom, you'll have all these people saying, try these people. And all of a sudden, you'll see, whoa, 4 people on Twitter recommended X mechanic. He must be good.
Right.
And sure enough, you'll go there and have good service. So it's very important to have a good reputation because it shows on Twitter.
and questions too are pretty, I find.
Yeah,
Really helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah, ask as many questions as you want. There'll always be somebody that will answer them. Except when I asked if anyone had a copy of Shutter Island. Does anyone here have a copy of that movie? No one answered.
Awesome. So I guess, I don't know if there's anything else that you feel we didn't touch on as far as, you know, the way that you use Twitter and how it's kind of helped you.
Yeah, you've done a great job. If I can say one thing, be true to your personality on Twitter. Like, it's super important. If you haven't started a Twitter account, you have to establish yourself right away. And it goes like from right down to the name you choose to be your Twitter handle name. Like, just don't pick something silly because that's going to be your lasting impression on Twitter. So think about it. I don't know why I picked Twit Andrew King because back when Twitter, I learned about it, I'm like, Twitter, what the heck is that? I'm a twit, okay, whatever. And it's like, make sure you get your personality worked out right away
And I guess if
and
you're,
follow through with it.
yeah, and as a business, don't pick something that if someone just searches your business name, I guess, they're going to find you, you know.
Yeah, true. Like, if your business is selling silk scarves, you don't want to say something like skull, whatever. Like, make it relatable to your business.
Yeah.
So if people do search, like you say, they can find you.